welcome along to episode 49 of the Offload podcast.
Have you fact checked that? Is it 49?
No, it's 46.
Is
We're
it?
close enough. You don't come
Yeah.
here for accurate statistics. Donncha, what's crack, man?
Not a whole lot. On the way home from holidays, Tommy, obviously, I was chatting to you in the dressing room on Tuesday. I got that wrong. I was the day early. You know the way. So traveling today, yeah. But
I
whatever
love
about where.
how you had Sophie there, and she's the one telling you exactly when you're traveling, what time you're traveling, and she actually got it wrong. So there you go.
Yeah, there you go. The brilliant thing with Sophie is genuinely she is just like Jenny. I actually go to her for advice. Sometimes I'm going to her there, and I'll go to her, Sophie. You know that like the bag of corn, a chicken, and a fox. I'll go to her. I have to pick Jake up at Nemo. I have to drop Anna to Leevale, and I have to get you to swimming. How would you do that? And she'll go, well, the best way to do it is.
Honestly.
Yeah.
What age is she?
15. She's a superstar.
Wow. That's class. Fair
Thank
play.
God she picked up none of my kind of bad traits, and you know what I mean? She's all Jen, thankfully.
Speaking of parenting, I have one for you because it is meant to be a rugby podcast, but we'd like to do a bit of parenting as well. We did this on the show this week. Have you seen the clip of Emma Raducanu playing against Sabalenka? And Raducanu is serving. It's getting to kind of close to the end of the match or whatever else, and you can see her bouncing the ball ready to serve, and a baby is crying in the background. So she stops and turns around. And she kind of says to the umpire, that baby's been crying for 10 minutes. So the umpire kind of goes, well, what do you want me to do? It's a baby. Do you want me to kick it out? And then all of a sudden the crowd starts shouting, yes. And then she's going, there you go. Yes, you need to kick her out. So it sparked, it's a really interesting clip. So it sparked a bit of a debate on the show this week, talking about, is it up to parental responsibility that there are certain places and things that you shouldn't be able to take your children into? So, into a play, into the cinema, maybe if it's a grown-up one, obviously not a kid's one, to like the golf, like you see the guys who are putting whenever you have to be silent, tennis, opera, I don't know what the hell, like, or is it a case of now, kids should be welcomed wherever they go at this stage?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, but then again, Tommy, right? If you did do that, right? How do kids ever learn that you're quiet at the match? You know what I mean? Like a good one for
babies. Like this is babies. Do you know what I mean? Like
yeah, okay, yeah. Well, look, the honest thing there is if you're there with a baby and you know what I mean, the baby's not happy, or you're surely stepping out, aren't you?
Well, exactly. I can't. I'm kind of like, you shouldn't like like fair play. If you want to go to the tennis and you have no other childcare, whatever else, take the baby to the tennis. But if the baby is crying in a situation where everybody knows that you're meant to be quiet,
but
you step out or you take the baby out.
But then again, Tommy, right? Raducanu's job there, right, is I'm going to go full Roy Keane. Like,
okay, I love it. Yeah, go.
Yeah, she's just there to play tennis. Like, she's not in a library. You know what I mean? The outside influences shouldn't kind of get in on top of her. And obviously, like a baby crying is probably the worst noise you could ever hear.
Imagine.
And it would just. Do you know what's funny? I remember chatting to Strings. Remember he did that. Hell Week.
Oh God, yeah.
And
him and Trimby and Barry Murphy, they all did it. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Didn't Barry Murphy think he was eating blueberries and it was rabbit shit?
I think
he was so delirious.
I think it was Derek from our show was like being sick, and they went and told him like you have to go and pick that up. So like he was sick on the beach. Do you think like the seal cleanup? So like, did you get sick? And made him have to go back and he'd pick. So he picked it up and like scooped it into his pocket, and then he got sick again and like tried to catch it. I mean that show
in it to make it easier.
Was mental. But anyway, sorry, I don't know how we're going from ever out of the tennis.
Sorry, the point Strings made was all the physical torture, the lack of sleep. The one thing that really broke him was they put headphones on them and they had babies crying and they don't know how long they were there, but he was there. Honestly, it went through my head. And
there's
dad
nothing
of
worse.
two at the time, you know.
Oh, there's nothing worse. But I'm kind of thinking it from her Emma Raducanu's point of view. That's her place of work. So it's different, a rugby match, a Gaelic football match, whatever match, where the crowd are a big part of it. In their place of work, they're used to silence. So if you're sitting in an office and you're used to silence, you don't want the person sitting next to you bring their baby and you can't do your work properly. So I kind of think that listen, parental responsibility personally, that if it means you have to miss out on the tennis match, you really want to go, well, tough shit.
Yeah, that's true. But then again, when you pay a fortune for the tickets, like we know how high ticket prices are now, and if you can't get someone to look after, or maybe that child is feeding and stuff like that, so it can't be away from its
But
mom.
what if you're
Like,
if you paid for the tickets to sit beside them and you have to listen to them crying? Do you mean
what if?
like, do you ever go on a plane and you've got you sit down on the seat, and now I've been there with my own kids. It's hell.
Oh
There is
yeah.
nothing worse
Mm,
than being a parent of a child that's having a mental breakdown in the plane. And
yeah,
particularly when the seatbelt signs are still on and you
yeah.
can't go anywhere. You're trying to feed them, you're doing whatever else. Oh, geez, the torture. But
That that's the
yeah.
closest I've got to a kickoff in a rugby game. You know, when because they put you in the back of the plane, don't they? It seems to be all the family down the back of the plane, and
Yeah.
you get on, and one of them's having a meltdown, and someone turns around, giving it the "Are you all right there?" I'm telling you, I would go at that point. I'm there, like, honestly, do you think
Now
I've
is not the
enough?
time.
No,
I
it
would
is not.
rather batter the shite out of you than deal with that screaming baby, to be honest with you.
if physical confrontation gets both of us out of this, I'm up for it. Do you know what? He's a legend. Billy Connolly is a great line. Kids are like farts. You can just about stand your own. And they're like, so true. So true.
Well done,
And
well
that's what
done.
happened to her there.
Well,
Yeah.
listen, let us know what you think about that.
Yeah.
Right, I want to quickly, before we get on to rugby, we always talk about this Boweloxed situation where
Oh, jeez, yeah.
sometimes you do a me on it and you
Yeah, you
get
have a
yourself
Tommy.
into a bad situation and you're Boweloxed. So we have a message in. Somebody sent you a message, actually, loving the
Yeah.
podcast. It's great, it's fair play.
Yeah,
Right,
don't read out
Boweloxed
all the
section.
complimentary
Yes,
bits,
sorry,
Tommy.
yes, okay. Well, thank you. At least someone's enjoying it. Right, I have one for you. Though the
Mario Callahan.
individual shall remain nameless, we'll call him X. X joined the MAR, the Munster Association of Referees, right? Okay,
Oh,
we can cross
yes,
off a
here we
group here.
go.
Was attending a meeting when the fixtures were read out. The room heard X to referee CBC versus St Michael's from Dublin in Lansdowne on Saturday at 11 a.m. Nothing unusual except about that. Fast forward to Saturday morning, CBC coach rings the MAR fixtures secretary. Hi, it's 10:30 and there's no ref. What's the story? The Munster Association referee replies, "Oh God, sorry, I'll call them straight away and get back to you. No problem. Hi, X, where are you? I've just got a call from CBC coach asking where the ref was." X replies, "I was literally just about to call you. I've been here since 10 o'clock and the gate's locked. I can see inside, but there's nobody around. I don't know what he could be on about." The referee association got back, "Weird, I'll call him back." Munster Association, this is a hard one, right? Jeez. He said he's
I
been
gave it
there
to you
since
because there's loads of mentions of 10, and I thought that'd be hilarious.
Uh, he said he's been there since 10 and then the gates are still locked and nobody's about. CBC said, "What is he on about? We've been here since 8 o'clock. The car park is practically full. He must be in the wrong place." Referee Association, "I'll try him again. Hi X, where exactly are you?" X, "I'm outside the gates of Lansdowne Road. Looking
Oh,
at the empty
what a
pitch. Honestly, there is nobody here."
wow,
The
wow.
Referee Association, "Do you mean you're in Dublin?" Yes, that's the fixture I got. Oh, Jesus. The game is indeed in Lansdowne, but
Yeah,
that is the name of CBC's rugby ground. It's
up
on
the
the old
top of the
Yall
hill.
Road in Cork, up the
Yeah.
top of there, Patrick's Hill. Fuck it. That is a first. Drive home and be safe. But the question that was put to this at the end of the Bowelox is, I don't care about the see, we've all got our own mistakes wrong, but the
Yeah.
question is about the Munster Association referees. Did X get his expenses for the trip to Lansdowne Road in Dublin?
There's a good question. It always comes down to expenses in the end. How did he think a Munster referee was going all the way up? Well, I know that it was the fact that it was Christians, but like,
Well,
geez.
yeah, is he from Munster? I don't
Yeah,
know, but I mean, I wouldn't know that Lansdowne. I would be thinking Lansdowne mean Lansdowne Road.
yeah. We used to train up
Would you
there
know
in.
that easy?
Yeah, well, it's because I'm a CBC boy. That's where we
Okay.
used to train every day. So yeah, it's quite beautiful up there. Although if you can manage the conditions in Lansdowne in Cork, you can manage them anywhere. You're dealing with
Okay.
all sorts of wind, all sorts of rain. Actually, it's up by the army barracks as well, so it's kind of tough area. Every now and again, you get the smell of the brewery. You know what I mean? That kind of smell of hobs wafting in around the
Make
place.
you
Yeah.
really thinking, Jesus, blowed up ref, I could do with a pint. um,
Absolutely.
well, thank you for sending your Boweloxed text there. And we have a couple more still to read out over the next couple of weeks. But please do any good stories like that. We love to hear from different viewers. And we'll give
Oh
you a
yes.
shout out if you want.
Yeah.
Go on.
Sorry. Where are you?
Oh,
What's that you're in? Sorry,
I'm
the
in
people aren't watching.
a
Oh.
commentary booth in Virgin Media. It's quite
Oh
cool.
wow.
So
Yeah.
it's
So
like,
it's
yeah,
obviously fairly
soundproof.
soundproof.
Yeah, no, it is good. And like if you've got the TV, so obviously if there's a match down in New Zealand or wherever else and they don't want to send them down there, they go and do it off tube here. You've got the little knobs
Ah.
and all sorts
And
going on.
and they priceless. But have you ever had to do one off
I've
tube?
never done an off tube
Oh
commentary,
my.
no.
The one I had to do, man, was Racing. Remember Racing moved into that new stadium where they turn it into a nightclub after the match. They
Oh,
pull out
right.
bars. And we were,
Oh,
I
yeah,
was doing,
class. Yeah, the
I was
arena.
doing, yeah, Zeebs was actually playing in it. And I had to do it. They basically, we were doing it in Sheffield or somewhere. It was with BT Sport. It was
Oh,
out near
yeah.
the old Olympics
the-
Park.
yeah, yeah.
And we're in one of those yokes, and like you basically have to bluff that, like, you know what I mean?
It's so tell
Atmosphere
me,
is
do you get
incredible.
loads of different angles or do you just get the TV angle that's
No,
in front of you?
you get the TV angles that sorry, you do get different angles, but the only one you can kind of react on. So you're looking for numbers. You know what I mean? For the grounding
Yeah.
of the try, and you're trying to look at the other angle to see who's up. You know what I mean? Can you spot 7 of the other forwards so that you can say it's, the hooker or whoever it is?
So when you were in that just outside London doing the commentary on the Le Devance arena in Paris, did you actually say the atmosphere is incredible in here?
That was because they start with a light show and they were like, these light shows really becoming a feature of modern rugby and really engaging the crowd. You're there like this, honestly, because they're tight, aren't they? If you put 2 people into where you are, no
Well,
man.
this is a one place one. This is, yeah, and it's nice, but there's even tighter ones up there, yeah. But no, I've never
Amazing.
done off, and I just kind of think like commentary. You want to be there, you want to soak up. I kind of think it goes against everything that sport is and commentary is actually doing
Yeah.
off tube. I hate that.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, no, I don't mean to kind of pull
Come
your
on.
pants down. But the big thing they were saying was just the admissions of moving people around the place. If
Oh,
they're,
totally. The
you know what I mean,
cost.
spending on flights and spending on, whereas if you can do them all offline and in studios, these are a whole lot of different.
I totally get it. I totally
Because
get it.
that's
And
what happened to
just
me. I did the Tommy on it. You just don't get the atmosphere, and they were like, "Well, we'd like to leave something of the planet left, if you don't mind." And they're like, "Beep
feck
beep
the
beep."
planet. Feck the planet. Well, yeah, fair enough. But and the cost of it is big. But and you don't have to fly all over the world to go to kind of go to these matches. But
Yeah.
anyway, yeah. So I'm in an off tube studio here at Virgin Media as well. Right. Listen, let's talk quick bit of rugby because we're very excited. The Women's World Cup starts off this weekend. We got chatting to 2 of the players the other day, Dannah O'Brien, the out half, and Stacey Flood, the fullback. There are 2 crackers, actually. It was really
Yeah,
good chat. Really
brilliant.
enjoyed the chat with the 2 of them. So that's going to come up very shortly. And we're really looking forward to that match this Sunday in the Women's World Cup kicking off. But I do have to ask you, the Rugby Championship is on at the minute. The
Yes,
Lions beat Australia 2-1.
2-1.
Australia started to really come good in Test 2 and unbelievable in Test 3. But holy shit, who saw that result in Ellis Park against South Africa at the weekend?
In Ellis Park, man, you're dead right. And 22-0 down. Like the first 20 minutes.
Wow.
Incredible. It was absolutely incredible. And look, I suppose in ways, for as a Lions supporter, you're nearly glad because it vindicates everything that we've kind of been saying, that Australia are good. But it's amazing how I think you'll go around it as much as you want. And we spoke about it a little bit in the dressing room, but a point of difference is Joe Schmidt. And you know what I mean? We were chatting about the discipline of that Australian team. But also, like you read some of Razi's comments, I think he will be so frustrated. And one slip up, Tommy, shows how ruthless it is. They've gone
Yeah.
from top of the world down to third. New Zealand
Yeah.
go in at 1 on the world rankings. We go in 2, and they move down to third for one poor
Yeah.
performance,
I think
especially
that's a
in.
bit stupid, isn't it, though? Do you know what I mean? Like this whole world rankings, like, you know, for Ireland didn't even play and they climb up to second. Like, how the hell does that
Yeah.
even work?
And I saw someone commenting, if you win, you go up 2 points, but if you lose, you go down 3. You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
it's
Stupid.
like a
Yeah.
giant game of snakes and ladders. It
Yeah.
basically they came up with it to keep Wales down. I'm convinced.
It was such a game of two halves, though, wasn't it? Like
It
in that
was
first half, the way the game, I thought this is going to be 40, 50 points South Africa going to put on them. Like they
yeah,
were scoring so easily. And then, whatever, Joe, I heard Joe Schmidt doing an interview after, like typical, it's nothing to do with me, mate. You know,
of
this is the
course.
players. I was blown away but like whatever they did at halftime to be 22-5 down, to turn that around, to win 38 points to 22. Like to keep South Africa completely scoreless in the
Yeah,
second half and score pretty much 31 points. Like
yeah.
unbelievable, unbelievable.
But
Like
we saw it at the end of that lightning break in the third test as well. Them just their ability to now rob lineouts. Man,
yeah,
Frost's incredible. You know what I mean? They are like probably the best in the world at that at the moment. The breakdown they seem to be all over at the moment. But I think Razi will be so frustrated.
sick, yeah.
Like it was the first time. Do you remember when they weren't going well in the World Cup and you could see him being busy? Like he was chatting to coaches and you could see he was fixing the problem, but they
Yeah.
just cut to him once in the camera and he was kind of ash faced.
Oh,
Like it was like he couldn't solve the problem. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah, no,
I
it
think
was unbelievable. Yeah, it was amazing. And it'll be really interesting. Of course, they're coming up against each other then this weekend. So that's going to be a cracker of a match.
it certainly
Uh,
will be. But like we played in Ellis Park as well. You take away the altitude. If you're Aussie and you've taken
yeah,
a
yeah,
scalp up there, I
yeah.
don't think they've won up there for 20 years.
No, no, no,
Yeah,
no. It was amazing. It was
yeah,
like we keep saying this. Test match rugby is feckin' brilliant. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like we
yeah.
talk about changing the game and tinkering with rules and whatever else. Like test match, like how these players are not being paid more and being looked after better because the quality of those matches is incredible.
Yeah, that was
Did you watch? Did you watch in the New Zealand Argentina game? Like
yes,
that was in Argentina. Looked like a
yeah,
class atmosphere. I
yeah.
don't think Argentina have actually ever beaten New Zealand at home. They've beaten them, I think, 3 or 4 times away from home. But
Okay.
do you know what I hate, right? I didn't watch it, and I was able to only watch the highlights of both games. Some unbelievable tries. And then you watch the New Zealand game, and Argentina are playing class rugby, scoring some brilliant tries. And then New Zealand just go back and score 2 driving mauls. I'm like, oh,
Get
like,
out of it.
bore off. Honestly,
Yeah, you're trying to you're
get rid of
fishing
them
for
all.
get rid of them all, get rid of the
It
breakdown,
was
get rid
so
of everything that
boring.
involves forwards. Look, I don't know. I think especially when you're taking on Argentina, that's where you got to take them on. You got to like kind of honestly go for their soul, go for their heart, and that is in the confrontation battle stuff. I thought it was a great game. I must say one thing. And look, we've had our run-ins with them over the years, didn't we? Like that was the game I always felt it was the most niggle to
Yeah.
Argentina, us and Argentina. And look, it was built up because it was over big games. But their ability to do emotionally silly things, like the yellow card, with your man just swiping the ball out of it. Like I know Contaponi as a coach now, that you'll be going bananas over
Bananas,
it.
yeah.
It's just
So
such a cheap
frustrating,
one.
like, so
Yeah,
frustrating.
and
But it's
you
like you
want to you
talking it's kinda like you talking in the dressing room this week about Alan Gaffney, having a
yeah.
word with you just a bit about discipline, and, like, sometimes, like, is that down like, is a silly penalty like that, is it down to not that you gave away a lot of them, but you said Alan Gaffney had a real go at you about it
Yeah, I
in
did.
pre-season. Like, is it down to lack of fitness? Is it your head's just, too frazzled at the time? Like, what is it in those
Yeah.
moments that that like coaches are tearing their hair out
Yeah.
that you give away a simple penalty like that.
Yeah, for me, and I can understand that kind of one because I would have done something like that. You're nearly you're blinded by foolish effort. You know what I mean? You think it's whereas if you took a breath there and just got on the defensive line, you're absolutely of more use. Whereas he's
Mm.
thinking I can swipe at the 9 here and rob the ball, and it's just never coming out, and it's kind of working out those ones. What we were chatting about it. What I had with Alan Gaffney is he actually gave me like a personal audit. He was there. You're indisciplined. And
Wow.
that comes out on Saturdays as well because you don't have discipline in your life.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, and he honestly he was really tough on me then. He was, but like, sorry, he was there. We're going to help you with that. We're going to help you put more shape and more discipline on how you conduct yourself even around the
How?
place.
Go
But
on,
just even
let's.
small things like we'd say something and I might have the different top on and I wouldn't have thought it was a major problem. I'd be like, I can go change.
Yeah.
And then he was there like, no, you need a checklist before you arrive. And then he was there like, why would you know what I mean? You arrive early
Well,
for kind of rugby and weights, but why wouldn't you arrive early for the meetings?
yeah.
Like, why do you risk that? And he's there, they're of value. You know what I mean? He just went through loads of things in my life that he was there, you need
Wow.
to be better at to. And then he's there, Saturday's discipline is easy because
Yeah.
you're used to basically turn me into a monk, man.
But again, it's like another clip we talked with Joe Schmidt, the discipline he expected from the team. And he talked about players losing their room keys. And then he said, if
Oh
I
yeah.
can't trust you with your discipline off the pitch, how can I trust you with their discipline on the pitch? That's really interesting, actually, that they did that. And listen,
Yeah.
maybe it's something that
Now losing the room key is a bit harsh. We've all done
I
that, Joe.
I thought it was a bit
Like
harsh. We all did. I mean, that's why it's
there's
still a story.
yeah, there's discipline and there's stupidity, and I think what that's crossed into. But who hasn't got to their room and gone, oh bollocks?
Well, I mean, imagine Joe Schmidt going to reception and asking them whose key is this to go and find
Amazing.
out and be able to
Yeah.
knock. And I think it was
That's
Trimby.
of course it
Typical
was.
Trimbo.
Someone hiding it at him.
Right, I want to go. We're going to obviously go and talk to the two girls at the minute. I want to talk to you quickly. In the Women's World Cup, there's going to be the HIA protocols. They're going to be wearing these gum shields that light
Yes.
up during matches, which is fantastic. I think rugby is really trying to take a big step forward in trying to protect the players. And I think these light up gum shields that they've got a sensor in them that they go red if there's it's seen that they've taken too big a contact as well.
And so the reasoning for that, Tommy, is going to be so your gum shield starts flashing, and as your teammate or as your opponent or as the referee, I can go, Tommy's flashing there. Can we look
Yeah,
after him? Is it?
yeah, not
Is that the
amazing.
mindset?
Yeah,
Yeah, it kind of is because what we've had before is just um, doctors or you know what I mean, third party officials running onto the pitch
yeah,
and taking you off, and you're really surprised. You're
yeah.
like, what are you
What
chanting?
the hell you
Because
doing? Why you take me off? Yeah,
we've spoke about this before. I was involved in the first study of those, and there were little chips behind our ear that they.
yeah,
But I actually registered once because I came down really hard on a from a line out, and that
yeah.
was enough to pull me out of
Show
it.
that you're like a G4,
Exactly.
a level of G force. Yeah,
Whereas I wouldn't have thought that would. I was always thinking collision. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So yeah,
No, me too. Unless I just think it's another step forward that rugby, and we're just highlighting again the levels that rugby are going
yeah.
to try and make their players safer. And just it brings up another. There was a study done by the Irish Rugby Injury Surveillance report, and concussion is it's the most common injury diagnosed in the non-professional men's and women's game in Ireland. And like I think rugby is obviously under a lot of scrutiny with the physicality and the contact, and people are looking at it. But I actually think they're the one sport that is really trying to lead the way in terms
Yeah.
of trying to protect and look after its players long term. Like I don't see anything like these reports in Gaelic football or soccer where there are a huge amount of contacts or whatever else. And I know from people who play Gaelic football, and I used to play a lot, the level of one-on-one contacts that you got were pretty crazy. But this is actually, and it's quite an alarming study because at the professional game they have these gum shields that it lights up to say that you need to come off, and if your gum shield lights up red, you have to come off. Obviously, the IRFU, I'm trying to say that what is concerning, and this at schoolboy level, 35% of school players said that they would continue to play sport while also having a headache that resulted
Oh
from a minor
no.
concussion, in contrast to 14% of club players. So, again, this is just these young players in school obviously were very knowledgeable about concussion, knew about it, but maybe were just a bit blasé that even if they
Yeah.
took a knock, over a third of them would continue to play on. And I
Yeah.
think it's something that we just need to highlight, that rugby is trying to address this. They're trying to
Yeah.
explain to young players, young and old, that listen, if you take a knock, come off. Doesn't mean you're off for the rest of the game,
Yeah.
but just get yourself checked out. And I think those Gumshields could be a really good way forward with that.
Absolutely. And Tommy, I like the way you're mentioning it because we've a role in that as well. Like I think whatever came from that Lions tour, what Gary Ringrose did really shone a spotlight on it and
Yeah.
really, really helped. And I think if you're a young girl or a boy now looking at the game, you just can't take risks like that. You know what I mean? There are bangs and knocks you take, but you can't ever take it with your head. You know what I mean? And I think that the onus should be on. You see, it's very easy at professional level. I know you mentioned the GA
Totally.
not doing the studies, but we're pro game. It's easier for us to do it. We can put funding behind it.
Well, listen, GA is plenty of money. Like they're just, big sellouts for football. I just think it's up to all sports to do this. And I actually
Yeah,
think
yeah,
because rugby is kind of trying to lead the way in this, they're coming out of it worse because they're getting the headlines all about concussions. Where
yeah.
actually, if they just put their head in the sand, no one would be talking about it. There'd be a few whispers.
No, yeah, but that wouldn't be the form either, too, which
No.
we're kind of glad of. And that's,
Yeah.
yeah, so, yeah,
So I
I
think
think
you're
that
right. Yeah, absolutely. You're right.
the,
What Gary Ringrose showed that no game is more important than your health.
absolutely. And look, we know, there is young girls and boys will play big games, and it certainly happens in around. I'm not surprised that you said that school mentality is a little bit higher than youths,
Yeah.
because that kind of feeling of when you go into senior cup of kind of getting over the line. There's plenty more rugby after that. You really don't need to be putting yourself at risk. And the only thing is what we're lucky with at the professional level is independence. But I think that's where maybe at youths and schools level, it just needs greater care by everyone involved to just go, boom, I'm taking you out of this. Coaches, management, teachers, parents, just be vocal on stuff like that. You see, it's just not worth the risk.
Absolutely. No, look out for yourself. And again, schools cup match or whatever else. But life I
Jeez,
think
we
is
got
more
deep
important.
there.
Look after
Can we go
yourself,
back to the
didn't
Boweloxed?
you? Okay, we're about to lighten it up. You looking forward to the start of the Women's World Cup?
Yes, I am.
Kicks
It kicks
off.
off tonight. England versus the USA. You know who I'll be shouting for. Yes. Come on, USA.
USA.
Throw the ball around. It's wrong of us not as well to touch on the women's Interpros have been on as well. Connacht beat Ulster at the weekend. Hard luck, Tommy. He lost 12-7
Not
in
in
the
a good run, the
Dexcom.
women's
And Munster
Ulster
beat
team.
Leinster on the road 33-22 in the
Big
capital.
win.
So it's great to
Wow.
see while the Women's World Cup is going on, our Interpros are going on as well. So it is showing that what the RFU were doing in terms of grassroots level, developing more players to play, and hopefully everyone jumping on this green wave and an improvement in our game for our sisters, that they get the same benefits and joy that we got out of the game.
100%. Well, we're going to be looking forward to the game, Ireland against Japan this Sunday in Franklin's Gardens. But before we do that, we caught up with out-half Dannah O'Brien and fullback Stacey Flood just a few weeks ago to find out how excited they are ahead of it. Stacey, Dannah, how are you both? Listen, thanks so much for coming talking to us ahead of the World Cup. Stacey, how's the body feeling? Excited about what's coming?
The body's feeling better after last week anyway. We had this week as a down week, but definitely excited for what's coming, and being back in training with the girls has been great. And I'm sure you both know, like, pre-season is where you make the most bonds with the girls because like you're going through it together. So yeah.
There's nothing to bond you like someone vomiting on your boots, isn't there? That brings a whole new level of trust and care.
To just vomit on your own boots, do you?
Most likely.
It was me generally doing the vomit. I hated pre-season, particularly for a World Cup, because listen, going into
So
a World Cup,
competitive.
it's the peak condition you're ever going to be, but it's also an amazing time to spend with your teammates and build that green wave. We had Adele on just during the Six Nations, Adele McMahon, and she spoke about this green wave that Scott was trying to develop and stuff. Dannah, like, is that something that you're trying to develop? And because the interest in this Women's World Cup is going to be at an all-time high.
Yeah, definitely. It's kind of like something we started at the beginning when Scott came in, and it was just about like working as a group together and trying to inspire as many people across Ireland as we can. And then obviously we play our matches in Kingspan and down in Cork and in Ireland, so we're kind of just trying to inspire people all across Ireland and bring everyone along um, to the World Cup and beyond that as well.
Well, I mean, I was there at the Kingspan. There was a record set for attendance for that one. Then, of course, we went down to Cork, and Donncha, look at him, he's delighted with himself, beat that as well. But isn't it amazing, Stacey, though, the growth in the game? Yeah, like, I was actually talking to Sue Carty, who's involved in women's rugby at I think, 2 World Cups ago. And, they were struggling to sell out stadiums of maybe 10, 12,000. The final for this Women's World Cup is going to be in Twickenham. 80,000 tickets sold already. Like, you must be so excited to be a part of this because the sport is just going in such a trajectory.
Yeah, it's like I feel like women's sport in general at the minute is just on an upward trajectory and there is no ceiling to it. And I feel like people are starting to watch sport, not for man, not for woman. Like obviously the women's game has a long way to go, but I feel like the more eyes you're getting on it, the more people are starting to realize that it is such a like interesting and fast paced sport as well. So yeah, the World Cup final is going to be amazing, and like the whole World Cup itself, like England, the one thing they do well is sport, and I think they get like all their teams that they put out there, and like they're doing that with their women at the minute. Like you can see even the Arsenal women's team winning the Champions League final, like the amount of people that are traveling over for that. Like previously, I don't think you would have seen that, and I think that's happening in all realms of like women's sport, and like even the AFL in Australia and the NRL in Australia, and then we're starting to see it in Ireland now where there's just younger girls starting to play. Like when I first came into the program, like there was no underage system, there was no pathway, and now you have all that. So you're growing that competitiveness within the camp, but you're also growing it in clubs, in provinces, and it's feeding into the team. And I feel like the more competitiveness it is in camp, the more competitive we are as a squad, and the more competitive on a world stage we can be. So hopefully we do well in this World Cup, and it'll just send ripples through Ireland and show people what we can do as a squad. Yeah.
Yeah, Dan, it is great to have that pathway in place now and people to look to ye for an example and role models. Tell us about your own journey, though. It's rugby royalty, Sean O'Brien, yourself, all the greats come from Tulla, ball players all around. But there must be
You can
great
pass at least.
He didn't need to pass, man. He could run over you.
Yeah, yeah, no, I was just going to say, like, I was down in Tullow's Give It a Try
Oh,
program
yeah.
for girls' age. I think it's like uh, 10 to 16 or something. But I was down there a few weeks ago, and like, it's just so good to see the crowd of young girls down giving it a try. And like, when I started, there wasn't any underage girls teams, and now I think there are like minis girls teams, which is great. And like to have teams all the way up in the youths as well. So like the pathway is definitely growing, and yeah, it's just amazing to go back and see that the numbers are growing, and Tulla were up in the AIL this year as well. So yeah, it's just fantastic to see.
Shawnee always had his own little fan club that hung around with him and went to games. Who's travelling for the World Cup? Will there be a mass exodus from Tulla?
I'm not sure. I know there was some teams looking to go up to the warm up games in Belfast, but yeah, hopefully there'll be a good crowd. Some of my family are coming over anyway, so yeah.
That's brilliant. And Stacey, I suppose like you've had some amazing results over the last year or year and a half, like and you have to think of that New Zealand result. Like wins like that will inspire a nation. I think you both came through Gaelic football pathway and decided to give rugby a go, and all of a sudden things took off. Is there something like what is it that you would say to young girls or other women who maybe haven't quite tried rugby? Was it the opportunity to play in a World Cup, the opportunity to play in a Six Nations, to wear the green jersey, represent your country, that maybe other sports might not have got that chance?
Yeah, like I started playing GAA when I was 8 years old, and then I only actually took up rugby when I was 16, 17.
Yeah.
I took up sevens in school because it was the off season for GAA and I wanted to keep fit for GAA. And I was like, oh, my older sister had started rugby, and she was like, maybe 2 years before I started, she was like, oh, Stacey, like I think you'd be really good at sevens, and I think you'd be really good at rugby. Like, and I was like, nah. I was like, I love GAA. Like, I was like, I can't get anything out of rugby. Like, GAA is what I live for. And then I was like, I'll just do it to keep fit. Like, because she kept going on about it, and she was loving it. Like, she's playing for Leinster and stuff. And I was like, oh, just give it a go, like, you know. And then a few of the girls from my class were going down, and I was like, oh, and it was actually the club my sister played for was coming into our school. So I was like, I'll have to go, like, and yeah, I haven't looked back. The journey it's taken me on, like, never have I dreamt of traveling the world with my best friends or playing in these amazing stadiums all over the world, going to an Olympics, like playing in the green jersey. Like, you can't represent your country for GAA, and like it is amazing having that parish, like, county club. Like, it is amazing, but I just feel like the opportunity to play for your country and represent such a small island on such a big world stage is just amazing. And I'm like, you don't get the opportunity. And I feel like the bonds you make with people in rugby are so great, and like you put your body on the line, but also the girls you're playing with are putting their bodies on the line just as much. And I feel like that creates an extra bit of a bond, that you know what each other are doing for each other and for the jersey. So yeah, I never thought I'd be, if I looked back 10 years ago now and said that I'd be still playing rugby, I probably would have said I wouldn't. But I just can't get enough of it now.
You've nailed it there, though. You've nailed what it's all about. And it's funny, Dannah, when you hear Stacey chanting about it, you know what I mean? She started playing the game at 16. You got capped at 18. Like, it was wild stuff. You know what I mean? Just tell us about that. Just being so young, and especially in your position as well,
Yeah, let's
where
talk about
you're...
how much younger you are than me, Dannah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, exactly.
And who taught
What
you
are doing
everything you
hanging around with
know?
all these
Nailed
old
it on
goats?
Yeah, it was crazy at the time. I think like the highest level I played at that stage was like a year of senior for Tullow and under 18 Interpros. So yeah, it was a huge step up. I don't know how I did it at the time, to be honest, but like it was just my teammates supporting me and like trying to teach me as much as I could. And then yeah, going to Japan, it was an unbelievable experience. Right in the middle of COVID as well, I think, or just at the end of it. But yeah, it was just mad. Like back on it, it was huge. It's like such a huge step up. But yeah.
It
Who
was.
jumped out there? Who
Sorry, what
jumped
are you
out?
saying?
What are your teammates? Which one of your teammates do you remember walking into the room and having that kind of, you know, that feeling that they got you?
Like I think Hannah O'Connor, I remember at the time, like she was great. Like I remember going on the bus to train and she'd be helping me like understand the calls and everything. And
I thought she was putting on your safety belt.
yeah, but like she's a teacher,
the
like her
booster
profession
seat.
yeah, she's unbelievable at like helping the younger ones on. And yeah, she was a good leader, a good captain for Leinster as well. So
Yes.
yeah.
And being so young coming through. Listen, myself and Donncha remember all the rivalries between the likes of Sexton and O'Gara. They used to have to go through kicking, coaching together and stuff. So what's it like with you two? The two out halves.
Me and Dannah.
Yeah.
I'm a ball girl. I just go to the back of the coach and kick the ball back to her.
But
could ye be the first Irish out halves that actually get on?
I'm
No
not an out half.
chance.
I play fullback now.
I know. But
You're there. I'm not playing there anymore. You could play wherever you want, Stacey, to be fair to you.
You've been 10
no.
before. Of
I know,
course,
it's
you're
been great.
fullback now.
What?
You've been playing 10. You have played 10 many
I
a
have
time.
played 10. I played
9
10
too, haven't you?
Hmm?
9 as well with the sevens, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, I played 9 with sevens. I played 10.
Ugh.
It's different with 7, so you don't really count the positions. Like
Exactly. That's all
Every
Donncha
place,
knows.
everywhere in that game.
Don't ask
In
questions of Donncha and sevens. That man,
Well, I know one thing. The fittest person on the pitch is a 9'7".
I know one thing. That
Fitness, I can pass the longest. Let the ball
one
do the
thing I
work, lad.
know
That's
is
true.
I know.
Donncha's never going to be a sevens player.
Sure, I played with Dannah first. It would have been that New Zealand game that was our first game together, was it?
Wow.
Starting together.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but before that, no, that would have been it. Because even for the Wolfhounds, that was after that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we I got my first cap at 10 in 2021, I think. And then I played them 2 seasons, but then we scooted off back to sevens for a few years. And then we got the opportunity to come back in this year after the Olympics and obviously build into this World Cup. But I'd never played with Dannah. And I remember Scott coming to me and was like, oh, like you can probably be a back 10, but like 15, like would you have a look at 15? I was like, oh, I'd love any opportunity to play in the green jersey, obviously. And to be honest, I wouldn't say I know the game inside out like Dannah would. So she's like perfect rugby brain for it, whereas I kind of just go with the flow. So fullback kind of suits me because you're there by yourself a lot of the time in the backfield, playing your own game. It's a different game back
Don't
there.
be giving secrets away at the back three. Listen, we are very busy, very active, always
I
scouting
commentate on
where
the
the
game the whole
opportunities
time.
are.
But Stacey, you've nailed a really important role of the 15 though. You're on about that kind of self-commentary. The great ones I played with, they made the pitch smaller for you because they helped you with that workload. That you get to see everything unfold in front of you. It must be, I know you're learning a new skill, but having that you're actually the safety net for all your teammates ahead of you.
Yeah, sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's not.
The old one-on-one.
It's good when we have good defense and you don't have to worry about being involved.
Who's closing the door?
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're yours. They're yours.
Yeah, but
Dannah.
me and Dannah would have played together for the first time in that New Zealand game. Obviously we would have trained and stuff together, and then we actually got a good stint playing in the Wolfhounds jersey together over the Christmas period, and that was good. I feel like kind of settled more into the 15 role, and I was starting to learn really quickly and have game times. So then when we went into the Six Nations, I actually got injured in the Wolfhounds. I did my syndesmosis and then ended up not being in training before the Six Nations till very close to it. But yeah, I feel like I don't know. I like being in the backfield with Dannah. She can kick the ball for her, so we don't have to stay much long in our 22. So suits me.
She's a good tackler as well, so doesn't let many have to come through and come at you as well.
But I don't think we have a rivalry at all. I feel like we get along pretty well.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we like to hear.
That's a pain in the ass. We were hoping we could stir it.
They wouldn't have put us on the call. Imagine you got Sexton and O'Gara in a call
There
together.
you go, you wouldn't. They'd move their boxes out into different places.
Honestly, it was so awkward.
Separate this into rooms.
It was so awkward when one of them was in one room.
The other.
Yeah.
You're desperate. No, well, listen, glad to see you're both still on talking terms for the minute as well. Hey, Dannah, tell us about that New Zealand win, because obviously you have New Zealand again in the pool stages with the World Cup. That's the game that I think it's probably the game of the pool stages, realistically, I think, in terms of all the games, given that little bit of history and the All Blacks wanting to get one back over Ireland again. What was it like, though, that victory? Because I remember we were on Ireland Day that morning and word came through that Ireland had just beat the All Blacks in that match. It was just incredible.
Yeah, it was. I think in the lead up to that game, we just spoke about believing in ourselves as a team. And then sort of like at half time, like I think the game was in the balance, and I think we all just kind of felt that we had belief in ourselves and we could actually beat them. And then it came very close at the end, but yeah, it was just unbelievable.
Dannah pinged it over to win the game for us.
But honestly, do you think being young, not having the when you've got a kick like that, to try and put all the thoughts behind of how much this actually means, what did you focus on?
Yeah, it's really hard not to get distracted in those moments. There's nothing really you can do, only just focus on the kick and like making sure my process was the same and everything. But yeah, like I did feel the pressure, but
And
uh,
having someone like Gareth Steenson there, he's now with you ahead of this World Cup. Given the
yeah,
experience and stuff he's had with winning the European Cup with Exeter and things like that, the English Premiership as well, has have the coaches going into this World Cup been a massive help in trying to giving you that extra bit more guidance
yeah, he's
and
been so
support?
good. Like he has so much experience in his own career, and um, like being a goal kicker, I just feel like he understands exactly what I'm going through. Like if I'm missing a few kicks, he knows. Like he'll just give me one tip, and then it'll just bring me right back to the process. So, like, yeah, he's so good, and I just feel like he understands as well. Like he used to play 10 as well, so he's very relatable in that sense, and like he can go to him with anything from like how to play the game or goal kicking or anything. So yeah, he's so good.
Yeah, incredible.
He
Stacey,
does want to be
focus
dying
on.
to get involved in training as well.
Is he? He's
He
still
is,
at
I
that
can
phase where
imagine.
he thinks he's
He out
still
there
got it.
cooking and all before the girls. I'm like,
No way.
he's only living for someone to come up and be like, "Will we have a competition? Will we?"
No
Give
way.
it up, Steno, will you? Give it up,
Let
man.
it
Your
go.
time is
Playing
gone
footy golf he is on his spare time.
Oh
on his
wow. He
own.
needs to join Dennis Fogarty on the social committee and just relax a bit more. Play
I know
traitors.
there's no one like Fogs now on the social
It's
committee.
not.
No
It's not.
comparing to him.
Very true. Very
There's no
true.
keeping up with him.
No, no. But just on that New Zealand match, Stacey, of course, like there's always this aura about the All Blacks. You've kind of broken that down now. You've tasted success. That's a brilliant reference point. But you know they're going to bring it again. To have that in the pool stages, how are you focusing your minds? Is it taking unbelievable confidence in what you've done before?
Yeah, we haven't looked too far forward yet. Obviously you have to take confidence from what you've done previously, but the game changes so quickly as well. And
Mm.
like obviously we've added in like everyone from sevens again, and they have just done that after winning the World Series this year. So they finished up in May with the World Series, and all them girls have come back in now. So I think 6 of them started in their last game against US. And they think Portia Woodman got a record 7 tries in that game, or she
Really?
matched her record or something like that. But 7 of the other younger girls from sevens were playing, and they went unbeaten in that pack 4. So I think watching their games from that and doing a bit of homework, the further we go into our training, I think we're focusing on ourselves now, and then we'll have our weeks where we look at other teams and what we want to do against them. So not getting bogged down about who we're playing, but remembering who we are as well. And like we have done that before, so we won't be the same team either when we get to that pool stage.
Such a vital point when it comes to a team like that, because you can try to evolve and worry solely on them as opposed to realizing what we got to do, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think knowing that like we're all rugby players, and at the end of the day it's 15v15, and then your impact players as well coming on, that like they're people aren't better than you like in terms of like individually, but as a team, like how can we be better than them and how can we show up on the field? But yeah, not looking too far forward, but it'll be a good game, I'd say, if you're going to make it
It's
over to
gonna be.
Brighton to watch it.
There we go. My
It's
nan
gonna
used to
be.
have a saying. I used to ring my nan before games just to kind of catch up, but she was there. Don't be making them out to be bigger than they are. They've the same bones in their ass as you. So, cheers, nan.
Yeah,
Thanks,
that's
man. I'm
grand.
just going team talk here.
Yeah. I'll tell the rest of the team that.
Draco!
Tommy,
Draco!
hold on. Put you on loudspeaker here now once.
Come on, nan, take the team talk.
To be fair, to be very few at the opposition that have as big an ass as Donncha.
That's true too. That's true too. She was picking the area she knew I'd accessed it.
Hold on, I light a candle
Listen,
for you there.
There you go, done.
that was done already. Stacey, Dannah, listen, all the very best. What
Yeah,
wonderful
amazing.
ambassadors you are for Irish rugby, for Irish women, and for the sport. It's fantastic. You've got 3 big games coming up, hopefully lots more. We wish you all the very best, and we love to follow on this green wave that you're a big part of. So We wish you all the very best. Have a good one, and thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Cheers.
play well, girls. Honestly, we're so proud of you. Keep going.
Thanks, Nan.
Thanks.
There you have it.
There we go.
Stacey's been a crack.
Stacey,
Tried to cancel you there, did she?
She's well able to put me in my box. Brilliant. So good. So good.
I caught up with them whenever I was in presenting the jerseys last week, and Stacey's like, "Geez, when is that going out?" I'm petrified. What I said, well, I wasn't too mean, was I? But no, there are some laughs.
No.
They're a star. Fair play and actually, yeah, Dannah's left foot. She's watching her in that match. She's a hell of a boot on her.
Yeah, which is great. Honestly, do you know what I love, Tommy? And we were a bit like it. You're able to kind of switch on and off, and that's what I think they have. You know what I mean? Not everyone can do it. You know, like there are the intense ones, aren't they? That just
like yourself in game week.
Yeah, but if you can click it on and click it off like they do, I'd always be quite envious. So they're great fun, and we're all cheering them on. 12 o'clock on Sunday against Japan. Hopefully, that'll be a great day.
Going to be a cracker. Listen, check out the dressing room. We recorded it on Tuesday there. It's a really good episode talking about the dread that is pre-season. We've seen so many of the lads on Instagram videos of them in the thick of it at the minute, and we had some pretty interesting and good memories of our own pre-seasons, and glad we never have to do it again. So please, if you do want to check out the offloadpodcast.com, check out our stories, and we'd love to hear from you as well. Send us a message. Let us know what you would like to hear on the dressing room. Do you want to hear more stories? Do you want to hear more interviews? Give us a direction that you feel that you want to see us going here. And we really appreciate everybody's tuning into that and tuning into the podcast here as well on a Friday. Donncha, enjoy your trip home.
Yes, good on you, Tommy, and I'll catch up with you next week. Have a good one.
Cheers, man. Enjoy it with rugby this weekend.